Okay, what's good everyone? It's Nigel here, Trinidad Empowerment Network. So today, we're going to break down a video I saw online a while ago. I've been meaning to drop this video, but I haven't had the time. But nonetheless, I've found the time today, and I think you would find this one intriguing. So without further ado, here's the video.
Jamaica exporting fuel oil to Trinidad?
For the first time ever, Jamaica Petrojam is exporting fuel to Trinidad and Tobago. And to that we're looking to a million barrels of fuel oil, valued at about 90 million US.
Did he just say 1 million barrels? That's Telroy Morgan, the general manager at Petrojam, Jamaica's oil refinery. Now, Jamaica actually doesn't produce oil, but Trinidad does. So this announcement took me completely by surprise. But apparently, Petro-Trin has been down since like 2019.
Trinidad, who has oil, their refinery shuttered about 6 years ago, and so they have been importing. But over those many years, Petrojam has been trying to get in, so to speak, and it has finally happened.
Well, that explains Trinidad's foreign exchange issues. They produce oil, but they don't refine it anymore, so they're exporting it raw and about to buy it back refined from Jamaica. Apparently, this batch is some special marine fuel, though.
It's a fuel mainly for marine vessels, tankers.
But still, the optics. In my opinion, this signals a power shift in CARICOM, which has been at least 10 years in the making. And that's probably why, according to Telroy, this deal took so long. I think Trinidad didn't want to do it. Now, Trinidad and Jamaica have always been competitors, and the Trinidads are going to hate me for saying this, but these last 10 years, Trinidad's economy has been on the decline, while Jamaica has been improving. One of the major issues with doing business in Jamaica, especially for manufacturers, has always been the high cost of energy. Trinidad has always had that advantage. But are the roles now reversing? Remember my Taking Stock interview with Marla Dukaran? She's an economist from Trinidad who was explaining their foreign exchange issues.
The energy sector has not been earning the kind of foreign currency that it used to, say, let's say back in the 70s, 80s, even back up to 2013. We're earning a lot less now for a couple of reasons. One is the international price of these commodities, but also because of our production being very weak.
Wow, this really explains a lot. And then, of course, you have the new kid on the block when it comes to oil, Guyana. They're exporting barrels by the millions now, to the point where their government is literally giving away money to babies.
Our government will provide a one-off grant of $100,000 for every newborn baby born in Guyana to a Guyanese mother.
And you can see the conversions here. That's about 75 kJMD, 3,200 TTD, or 477 US dollars. Must be nice. By the way, Guyana doesn't have a refinery either, so that's also an opportunity for Jamaica and Petrojam. Anyway, to wrap this all up, the power dynamics in CARICOM are changing. As investors in this region, you need to make note of these shifts so you can spot the opportunities and the risks. And that's the bottom line. Follow our business page at Money Media JA for more content like this, and subscribe to the newsletter at getmoneynews.com. That's getmoneynews.com. Comment newsletter and I'll send you the link. Let's get this money.
So I've watched this video circulating recently about Trinidad and Tobago's economy. And I have to say, whilst it raised some valid points, especially regarding our foreign exchange crisis and issues we have in Trinidad overall, the messaging was extremely misleading, a bit shallow, and frankly divisive, in my opinion. So let me take a moment to give you the full factual context of that video and the bits that I believe they conveniently left out. So let's start with one thing. The video actually got a couple of things right. And the number one thing I believe they got right is that Trinidad and Tobago's ongoing foreign exchange problem is I see no resolution to it anytime soon. We have a serious issue accessing US dollars in Trinidad. But here's a part that they didn't fully explain. This isn't just some random government mismanagement or poor regulation, in my opinion. This is as of a direct result of Trinidad economic model, which is dangerously over-dependent on two things: the price of oil and the price of gas. We also rely on the health of the American economy. The health of the American economy. So let me break this down. Our economy earns over 80% of its export revenue from oil and gas and petrochemicals. That means if the global price of oil falls, like it did in 2014 during COVID, I bet you guys remember this, our government earns less revenue. So our foreign exchange, our forex reserves, dries up. And businesses start struggling to access US dollars to import goods. It's really basic, simple economics. If your entire house is built on one pillar, when that pillar shakes, the entire house shakes with it. And here's the kicker. Even if global oil prices stay stable, we are still exposed to the US economy. Many of you have seen my previous videos, would have heard me talk about this. We sell 40% of our natural gas to the United States. And we import almost 80% of our food and manufactured goods from the United States. So when the United States imposes sanctions and tariffs on their economy, it takes a downturn on us. We feel it in Trinidad almost immediately. This is why I always say we are not independent, not truly independent. We are economically dependent on oil, dependent on gas, dependent on America. And this is ultimately why our foreign exchange dries up. Because we, as a country, have failed to diversify our economy. I'm never going to get bored of talking about this. We have failed to build new industries. We have failed to invest in agriculture. We've failed to support manufacturing or grow our technology sectors. We've allowed politicians, essentially, from both sides of the aisle, whether it be UNC or PNM, to keep us stuck in this outdated economic model. It's old, it's out of fashion, it's finished. And whilst we're stuck in it, they distract us with tribal politics and race baiting and all that other nonsense that we see online day in, day out. Yellow is the code. No, Trinidad is the code. Anyway, let's digress. Now let's talk about one of the most misleading parts of that video. The suggestion that Jamaica somehow has the upper hand on Trinidad because they are supposedly seeking oil and gas from other sources. Let me be very clear. Jamaica does not have the upper hand on Trinidad and Tobago when it comes to oil and gas. Jamaica, like pointed out, or as pointed out in the video, does not produce oil or gas. They buy oil and gas from countries like Trinidad because they need oil and gas to keep their economy moving. Just like we import food and goods to keep our economy moving, they do the same. This is not a rivalry, or at least it shouldn't be. So I don't know why people dress this up as some sort of rivalry. We shouldn't be a rivalry. They are neighbors. This is regional trade, and we should be building stronger partnerships, not fueling this childish narrative of who's beating who. This is why I find this video so frustrating. So if you look at the European Union, for example, and you look at how countries that were once bitter rivals, like Germany and France and Britain, and how they all came together to form one of the most powerful economic blocs in the world, bar none. And they did this by working together, not tearing each other apart or beating each other down. You know, you always have this inter-Caribbean war that's going on. We're better than you, and this one's better than that one. Who cares? We're all the same. We all bought their own slave ships. The Caribbean shouldn't, or should be, doing exactly the same as the European Union. We're all neighbors. We're all family. We're all cut from the same cloth, to be honest. And we're stronger together. We should be building regional supply chains, investing in intra-Caribbean trade, and creating shared economic strategies to reduce our collective dependency on the United States and other global powers. That is what we should be working on. But instead, we see videos like I've just shown you. Videos like this pushes a divisive sort of clickbait narrative, and that's by design. It's by design to make you feel like your neighbor, your Caribbean neighbors, is a rivalry or competitor rather than your ally. We need allyship. We need togetherness in the Caribbean. We need to be working together and not relying on outsiders as we've done historically. It's just dangerous. It's dangerous because while we fight amongst ourselves, foreign powers and corporations continue to exploit us. They continue to exploit us. So if you've made it this far in the video, ask yourself honestly, has your life really improved under either of these parties? I'm referring to Trinidad now. Has your life really improved? Has your standard of living, your job prospects, your access to affordable food, your healthcare, housing, all of it, has it actually gotten better? Genuinely ask yourself this question. Forget the tribal politics. And if you can genuinely say yes, I tip my hat to you. But if you are being honest with yourself, I believe you know the answer. You know the answer to that question, if you are being honest. And to be honest, that's why I make these videos. Not to divide us, but to open your eyes to the bigger picture. Because if we don't start diversifying our economy and investing in regional partnership and building real economic independence, not just Trinidad and Tobago, the Caribbean in general. We've seen Barbados making massive moves recently. Congratulations to Barbados, by the way, for getting an upgrade from the IMF. Probably do a video about that soon. But Barbados recently got an upgrade from the IMF, going from 177% of debt to GDP to just over 102%. That's fantastic news for Barbados and Mia Mottley. What a fantastic leader she is. Going from 177% debt to GDP to just over 100%, I believe 102%. If you did the maths and you compared that to Trinidad, Trinidad is about 56 to 60% debt to GDP. Barbados was at 177%. Ah, man, she did a fantastic job. Since coming into power in 2018, she's managed to bring it down by making sacrifices, by working with the IMF the International Monetary Fund. And I'd probably do a video expanding on that another time. But we have to take note from that, and we have to make sure we never end up in the same situation as Barbados did. Because if we do, with an interest rate that they had, the interest rate they were paying back on, when your debt to GDP is high, it essentially means the money your country borrows, they pay it back at a higher percentage rate. So a good example would be if Trinidad borrows $1 billion or billion US dollars at 6% interest rate, we'd be paying back on that $1 billion, $60 million of interest per year. That is astronomical. So that's why it's in our interest to keep the debt to GDP rates down. Because if ever there comes a time where we have to borrow, and the last time we had to borrow, we borrowed at 6%. 6%. So we have to be mindful. We have to take note from what Mia Mottley has achieved in Barbados. I will do a video breaking this down maybe sometime soon if you guys are interested. But congratulations to them. That's a great a job well done to Barbados and Mia Mottley. But anyway, that's pretty much all I had to say on this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you've learned something. Listen, we have to make some serious changes in Trinidad. I am sick and tired of what I'm seeing. I'm sick and tired of the murder rate. I'm sick and tired of the same old rhetoric, the same ideas, the same tired ideas of how to fight crime and how to, it's not working. We need to invest in youngsters. It's a long-term strategy. But we need to invest in our youngsters, and we need to diversify now. Our economy is stagnant. We're stuck. We're stuck on America. We need to break free. We need to break free of those chains, just like we broke free of the chains of slavery from our colonizers, the British Empire. We could break free of the chains of America, diversify, and become a real sovereign, independent nation. I hope you enjoyed the video today. Please like, please subscribe. Much love. God bless. Take care. Peace.